Alright, so in this video I'm going to walk you through the process for posting that monthly adjustment for bulk costs. So what you see here on the screen is the bulk cost calculator that I created, and that it should be sitting in the course documents and resources waiting for you. And just to give you a layout of the land real quick, at the bottom you'll see different tabs for different months. So depending on how often the average inventory lifespan that you have, so like if you order generally for 2 months at a time or 3 months worth of inventory at a time, that will dictate what calculator you use. So let's just say you use stock for about 3 months on average at a time. You also have freight that it's really hard to track at the per unit level. You pay per shipment, and it really can change dramatically depending on how many units you have in the shipment. So freight seems like a really good candidate for the bulk cost calculator treatment. And so what you'll end up doing, just explaining this to you, you see the instructions down here, but what you'll do is month by month you'll go and you'll type in the amount you actually paid in cash. And a quick way to find out how much you paid each month was, once you've done your bookkeeping, you can come into Zero, go to all reports, so reports, all reports, go down to the accounting section where you find account transactions. If you haven't already, go ahead and star that. And then from account transactions, what you'll do is you'll go find capitalized bulk inventory costs. So if you remember from our process, whenever you have bulk inventory costs, for example, like freight, whenever that you have a bill, for example, a supplier bill, or that you code it straight from the cash and the checking account, whenever you see that, you want to categorize that to capitalized bulk inventory cost. So what we'll do is we'll come to account transactions, we'll look up, okay, for the month of January, how much did I pay in capitalized bulk inventory costs? It was $3,000. So what I'll do is I'll come over to my calculator and I'll type in amount paid, $3,000. And what you'll notice here is that the calculator immediately breaks it up based on what month calculator I'm in. It'll break it up, in this case, across 3 months. If I was to come in the 2-month calculator and type in $3,000, you'd see it would break it up over 2 months, etc., etc. So what the $3,000 is, you plug that in manually, and then the calculator will tell you, okay, this is how much you need to post in your manual journal for the month of January. So what we'll do is we'll come over to Zero, we'll go to Advisor, Manual Journal, and we'll click to create a new journal. And kind of this is what your template's going to look like. I normally have a narration of monthly bulk cost adjustment. I'll put in my date, January, last day of the month, January 31st, 2016. And then I'll plug in make sure the account on top needs to be bulk inventory cost. The account on bottom needs to be capitalized bulk inventory cost. And it's because under the debit column, we're putting $1,000 to bulk inventory cost and $1,000 to capitalized bulk inventory cost. So I'm not going to get into the theory again, but essentially what we're doing is we're taking $1,000 out of capitalized bulk inventory and we're putting that $1,000 into the bulk inventory cost. So we're taking 1/3 of what we stored up and we're expensing it off to an account. This calculator will tell you exactly how much you need to put in the journal for each of these line items. As long as you use the exact template I use here, you'll be A-okay. And then you'll go ahead. I normally like to attach my scratch work, so I would attach it. I would drag and drop this calculator into the manual journal to save it as a scratch work document, and then you'll just hit post. If I hit post and I come back and I update my account transactions, what you'll notice here is I spent $3,000 for the supplier, and then I adjusted $1,000 out, and then what you'll see is that closing balance will be $2,000, which corresponds to this field in the calculator, balance shown in Zero after the adjustment, $2,000. So this is kind of like a checks and balances to make sure you plugged in the right number. So anyways, this is how we do the bulk cost adjustment. You run the calculator, you figure out your cost that you paid in cash, you plug that into the calculator, it tells you how much to journal, and then you double check, does your ending balance match? That's a wrap on this process.